We've had a close eye on Epic Universe and the new Harry Potter attraction, specifically Harry Potter and the Battle for the Ministry, opening at Epic Universe. We don't know when, because it might not be when the park opens. However, Disney has also premiered a new attraction this year, that being Tiana's Bayou Adventure. We've seen some surprising things from both attractions, but after watching what's happened with Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey over at Islands of Adventure, we've had some concerns for who might be able to go on this ride. We need to talk about the situation with Harry Potter and the Battle for the Ministry, though, right now. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is enrollee in the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, Mr. VashSky. Vash, what house are you in?
I actually don't know. Probably Gryffindor, maybe Ravenclaw. I don't know, that's Slytherin. They've got the nice t-shirts right there, so I'm not quite sure which house I'm in. And boy, oh boy, are my parents going to be excited to hear that I've enrolled in this school. This is just great, Jonas. This is awesome.
I bet it's expensive too. They don't really talk about expenses in the Harry Potter universe, but it doesn't really make sense to me how you have currency in a world where people can conjure literally anything. But let's talk about what's going on over there at not Islands of Adventure, sorry, Epic Universe. This is going to be Universal's problem when they're just generic enough with their titles that they have 3 theme parks that all use generic terms here. They're great parks, but here we are. So Epic Universe obviously has a Harry Potter land, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the Ministry of Magic, which is actually Wizarding World Paris, which is like in the 1930s, but then you can go through it into the Ministry of Magic. This differs from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Hogsmeade at Islands of Adventure, where you're at Hogsmeade and you can see to the castle, which has a ride in it called Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Are you following me here? Vash, have you ridden Forbidden Journey?
Absolutely. I've ridden it on, I believe, both coasts, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I did. And incredible attractions. Obviously, making use of that Kuka arm technology, one of the first attractions themed in this way to do so, and definitely on a moving conveyor system, which was very, very cool tech implemented. But the level of theming and the quality, I mean, it is just absolutely fantastic. And I think they raised the stakes even further with their Diagon Alley Escape from Gringotts attraction as well.
Right, and I think a lot of people, when the Escape from Gringotts, I enjoyed the Escape from Gringotts. They obviously brought in Domhnall Gleeson, is he Bill Weasley in that one? There's only one set of 8 films, but they've done such a good job of monetizing these and making a kind of timeless reliving the idea of Harry Potter, as opposed to, we're in this exact moment in Harry Potter and you need to worry about it where it's set in the universe. But one thing that is going to be changing when we talk about the Ministry of Magic ride, the Battle for the Ministry ride versus the Forbidden Journey versus the Gringotts Escape, is the ride system. They have an issue at the ride system with Forbidden Journey. It's a little too tight. It's actually pretty restrictive for, I'm going to say, a large portion of the American populace, a growing portion of the American populace who maybe if we had a larger park with more areas to walk through, they might lose a little bit of that problem. And maybe if they didn't drink so much of the unlimited soda, they might lose a little bit of that problem. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be very kind.
I hear tell, Jonas, that Christine McCarthy was really working on that issue as well.
That's true. It's true. If only Universal had a Christine McCarthy to help people fit into the seats at Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. We're talking about the fact that if you're a large person, if you're above 6 feet, and maybe you got a little bit of extra width on the shoulders there, you might also not fit in these rides. They're pretty tight. And you see a lot of people testing out the ride vehicle there at the front. I'm trying to be nice. I don't want to insult anybody here, but a lot of people that I have met have had trouble fitting into these seats. And so they are unable. I've even seen people that some of the people in our group were not able to go through, and they're like, no, just come through the queue. Anyways, it's amazing. The queue is amazing. The ride is great. However, when we look at Ministry of Magic, I'm wondering if Universal learned their lesson with Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey.
I wonder too, because if we look at this attraction specifically, which I guess Universal debuted some photos on this. First of all, the ride vehicles look absolutely fantastic. They look amazing.
They really do. They really do.
Some amazing stuff right here. But you can actually see we're just using seatbelts, which, by the way, it's not really traditional for a Universal attraction to use seatbelts at all, much less in a Harry Potter attraction, which is historically, I think you're correct there, Jonas, whether we're talking about Gringotts or Forbidden Journey have been very, very restrictive. Definitely so on Forbidden Journey. As we talked about before, it's a Kuka Arm attraction, so they really want you staying in there because you can go just about anywhere and do anything in an attraction like that. I assume the same restrictions might be in place for, let's say, the Dark Universe attraction, which we know is going to be using similar technology.
Fairly certain, having looked at that ride vehicle in the prototype footage, that is probably going to be the same exact ride system as Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. And
historically, like I said before, Universal hasn't really implemented seatbelts on any of its attractions. Part of that is because they are looking at capacity, and they're looking at throughput, and they're looking at dispatch times and everything else. This, as you can see in this photo, it actually makes use of seat belts, which is really interesting. And that might have been a response to their previous incarnations of Harry Potter attractions that have historically been very restrictive.
Yeah, I love this tweet, by the way. Guests will board a magical lift that will propels them up, down, forward, backwards, sideways, and more as chaos ensues. Guys, I feel like you've run out of directions. So I don't know where the "and more" comes from. I don't know where that copy came from. Discussing Film is not the only place that I've seen use all of those directions. Just hilarious to me. The other thing that I'm seeing is people say leather on a theme park attraction. I'm going to tell you a secret here. It might be leather, but I don't think it's leather. I think it's something that is made to look like leather in that seat here. It's also kind of reminiscent of the Tower of Terror attraction as well, where the seatbelt is mostly there to say, stay in your seat, please, on what will be a ride that propels them up, down, forward, backward, sideways, and more as chaos ensues. I think this is one that it's going to be a lot of fun, but not as crazy, maybe, as people were thinking.
I don't know, Jonas. I'm looking at those. I'm looking at those armrests right there. They're pretty intense. They're a lot more intense than Tower of Terror, for example. So, I think this might feature definitely some intensity. We'll have to see just how much. Obviously, Universal's looking for as many people as possible to board this attraction, because I think they understand that this is going to be a signature attraction, not just for this land, but for this park. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. Whereas Dark Universe, that's maybe adult oriented. I think this one they want an attraction that the whole family can enjoy, and these aren't the golden photos that we actually saw. We saw some just absolutely beautiful photos from all around this specific attraction.
I mean, look at that. That is so cool.
It is, Jonas, it's absolutely incredible.
Hey, look at that. Okay, so I do have a question here. This is a house elf who has a shoe. So that raises questions for me as to what exactly is going on with, is her name Higgledy? What's the name of this? It was something ridiculously like cutesy.
I think you're right. I can look it up right now, but I think you were correct. I actually forgot what the name was, and it's a particular story because she's supposed to be Umbridge's
house elf
assistant. Yes.
Yeah. So obviously she's wearing a ring. She has shoes. Very famously, in the end of Chamber of Secrets. No, is it Chamber of Secrets or no? It's the third one, Prisoner of Azkaban. Is it? No. See, now I'm forgetting. Where did Dobby first show up? Somebody tell me in the comments. I love the Harry Potter books. Sometimes they tend to bleed together. I do know the last appearance of Dobby in the books is obviously Deathly Hallows. That's because it's the end of the series, kids. That's the only reason I said it that way. Don't you pay attention to what Mr. Jonas said. But looking at this looks fantastic. I mean, wow.
Very good. Higgledy is definitely the name for this specific house elf. Very, very cool. It looks absolutely awesome. You can see right there how closely the actual product mirrors the concept art, which, we haven't seen all that much in theme parks recently with some other guy there. But you can see just the level of detail with all of these photos of taking up the queue. It is really, really, really spectacular. This is going to be a slam dunk for
I mean,
Epic
it's
right
like
here.
you're riding the movies. If I can, go back to that original tagline for Universal Studios. This
Yes.
is the kind of thing that they should be very proud of what they've done here. Obviously, it's a theme park ride, and it's all fake. I'm just going to tell you guys, you're not really being transported into the Harry Potter world, but man, it's going to feel like that. My kids are going to love every minute of this, and I'm going to have to keep them away from the wand shops before they ask me to buy even more Harry Potter wands.
Your house is going to look like this, actually, with all the merch that your kids.
I originally thought that these were for wands, or is this supposed to be giant stacks of papers?
Well, that's the interesting thing. This might actually come from the attraction itself. Very hard to see in this photo, but if you squint closely, you can see that this photo that is concept art of the attraction itself. The background right there matches up perfectly with this shot right here. So very interesting. Don't quite know what the context of all of this is. Our internet sleuths are working hard to figure all of this out, but it is absolutely incredible. Now, it's not incredible, Jonas. What's a little bit disappointing? Now, we've talked about this attraction many times, but the reason why we bring this up over and over again is because, first of all, this attraction replaced a beloved attraction that was, well ridden for over 30 years. This attraction also is going to be the last attraction that Disney debuts for quite some time. And it's kind of a reflection of, I would say, the modern Imagineering output, let's say. And especially in the context of this, when you see all these incredible photos, all these incredible shots of what Universal Creative is doing, you just have to look on the other side and see what Disney has done. You can see right here, you saw those incredible ride vehicles for Ministry of Magic. Just the level of detail, just everything about them is just absolutely incredible. Whereas a rethemed attraction like Splash Mountain into Tiana's Bayou Adventure, they didn't even opt to put ornamentation on the end of those logs.
Yeah, and I have to repeat again, this is the biggest thing that Disney has this year is the 2 Tiana's Bayou Adventures. That's all they've got for 2024 right now. This is supposed to be their e-ticket attraction, and it can't even run correctly. We've obviously covered this on the channel. It broke down with the designers on it on opening day. So the excuses we've been hearing for a very long time of, oh, it's testing. Don't you know what testing means? That means it might break down. Oh, it's previews. That means, this or that. Oh, well, it's just starting. Here we are. First of all, an attraction that has been working consistently for 30 years. And now they've added in systems that slow down the ride's capacity, and they have to exit people from the vehicles, people who should not be worried about this attraction. At this point, if they told me for work that I have to ride this ride, I would view it as a chore.
Yes, absolutely. I would too. Especially when you look at just some of these photos of snapshots from inside the attraction. I understand these are, they're using flash, so maybe it's not the best showcase for what the Imagineers intended. But you can just kind of see the level of quality still that was imbued in this specific attraction, and it is really not great. And again, this is a retheme. This is a reskin. They didn't have to build this attraction from scratch, and yet this was the quality of work output from the current Imagineering team, especially the one that worked on this. And it's super, super sad, especially when you compare it against what came before. It's just really awful. And that's why I think for a lot of people are like, well, why do you keep harping on Tiana? Why do you keep, bring this up? It's like, this is it. This is all we're getting. And why people accept mediocrity? Because some people will say, oh, well, this attraction's great. This attraction's fantastic. This attraction's amazing. No. This is amazing. This deserves the praise. This was designed by people that thought this was good enough. And that's the difference.
Yep. And that's a lot of people saying that is good enough. I'm not going to put this entirely on Imagineering. There's a phrase that some of my sources have used called value engineering. You have the blue sky concept, you have some nice concept art, and then somewhere along the line they say, you know what, actually, we're going to do it this way. This is a little bit cheaper. This is a little bit less. By the way, we need to hit the deadline on getting this out, even though that deadline has been 6 years after the announcement in some cases. I don't know that Disney's got the juice anymore. There are signs that they're turning the corner a little bit, or I should rephrase that. There are signs that they are thinking strongly about turning the corner on all of this, but I just don't see it. I think Epic Universe has the next few years here, and in Tropical America's Land, there was obviously some miscommunication between the people who were actually building things and Josh D'Amaro, because Josh D'Amaro told everyone that Villain's Land had dirt moving, and then he updated that, and we said Tropical America's Land was going to start first, but he said no, dirt is moving on Villain's Land. Tropical America's Land will be after, and then he recently updated that to D23 Brazil to say we're working on permits and we should be breaking ground soon. So I don't know what the miscommunication was there between Josh D'Amaro's statement that they were building the Villain's Land and they are thinking that they're going to be building the Villain's Land. But whatever Disney has going on, they need to put out a picture like this that makes everybody go, wow. And it needs to not be drone shows over cruise ships. I get it. The drone shows are fantastic. The drone shows are great. But there's an entire portion of your audience that will never see a drone show. And this right here lights children's imaginations on fire. And Disney doesn't do that anymore.
It's so incredibly sad. It's incredibly sad to see this institution that was Imagineering. This just, I don't know, this guiding light for design firms all around the country, all around the world. And yet it's fallen to the state that it has. Really, really sad, because honestly, your work output, right, is a reflection on you. It's a reflection on your institution. It's a reflection on your firm. So when you see Tiana's Bayou Adventure, that's what WDI is now. And it's really sad to see. Whereas Universal Creative, I mean, this is only a couple of photos from what is an incredible, well, really theme park featuring 5 new lands. And this is just one of those rides.
Yep. Fantastic. Well, that being said, I am excited about the Harry Potter ride. I think the whole family will go together on this one to ride it whenever we get down there to that Epic Universe. I think it's going to be a blast. Tiana's, I guess, we'll ride that at some point. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to do that to review it for the channel. But what are your thoughts? Leave those in the comment section down below. That's right. You there looking at your device. We want to know your thoughts on this, and also Vash's. Like this video, of course, if you like this video and you found it helpful in any way. And of course, consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.